In this class, we'll take up the Hello World program and do a postmortem of that, and we'll understand what each and every part of it means. Okay, and that we'll take the simplest program, the Hello World program, understand, do the postmortem and understand each and every component in that. Then we'll move to a slightly complex program, maybe something like adding two numbers, etc, etc. No, in that way we will incrementally learn, rather than taking up a complex program and trying to decode it. We'll incrementally understand the concept and progress. Okay. So somebody, Neha, was commenting that she was not able to make it work. Maybe after this class or sometime offline, I will help you out in that. Maybe you can send a personal message in WhatsApp. Then I'll respond to that. What probably you can share your. We'll take up a Google Meet or something, and you can share the screen, and I can help you to make it work. Okay. So we'll address it separately. Now we'll take up the basic program. Again, I'll type it. So this is going to be your first assignment program. So I told in the last class your assignment will be your note itself. Probably you don't need to write whatever I explain or points or anything, but whatever program I demonstrate in the class, you should write. So this will be the first program that you should write in your assignment. And don't start writing at right now. Probably I'll give you time, or once I type it completely and at least compile it once, you can write. Otherwise, if I make any mistake, you will repeat that mistake. Rather than, I'll give you some time, or you can take a screenshot of, let's say, once I am done executing, compiling and executing it, then you can take a screenshot and keep it, and then later you can write it in your assignment or in your notes. Basically, your notes itself is the assignment. It should basically have all the programs that we demonstrate in the class. Okay, so my Hello World program is there, and last class I compiled it, then I executed it. On compiling, some files were generated. So when we save it, it will be a .c program, .c file, and okay, first when you save it, it is a .c file. It's a text file with an extension .c. But when I compile it by clicking this gear, I get a object file and the final executable file. Object file is an intermediate file, and the final executable file is generated from the object file. Okay, so that is how then I can execute it and I get the output. Now, what do these things mean? Whatever each and every statement in this program, what do they mean? That's what I'm going to explain. So uh, I will put a comment here in C programming. In a C program, if you want to put a comment means our plain English language sentence, not the language statement. I can add it by using double slash. This way, this forward pointing double slash. We have slash like this, backward pointing, but we have to use forward pointing double slash without any space. So if you put a double slash and if you write anything, the compiler will not consider that when compiling, because these are the valid statements in the program which the compiler has to convert into binary code. Yes, and finally, this program will be converted into executable code which is in binary language. But at that time, compiler will ignore such statement. This is a so this is a command. I can write anything. Normally, comments are used to give a brief explanation to the statement we are writing or the program we are writing, so that somebody reading this program will understand easily. So that is the purpose of a comment. This is a single line comment, I can say. Single line comment. So if I go to next line and type it, it is not no more a comment actually. So single line comment, you can write only one line of comment. So here you can write anything in your natural English language. You can write anything. This is to explain to the reader of your program what you are planning to do. Like hello world program. Okay. Now if you want to write a multi-line comment, how you will do is slash star and end it with star slash. Now if you write anything in between, you can write multi-line comments. So here you are restricted to only single line comment. This is for multi-line comment. Again forward slash star, and that is ended with the star forward slash. So this is a multi-line comment. These are the two things which you will use for explaining to your program to the reader. Or maybe you write a complex program and after 6 months when you take this program and try to understand, you may not understand it. So using comments you can put some hint what this program is doing or how the logic of this program works and all. That is the purpose of comments in a program. So C language supports single line comments as well as multi-line comments. Okay. Then the first valid statement of the program. These comments will be ignored by the compiler. This is just for the human beings to read, but compiler will ignore that. And these are the statements which compiler will consider. Now, any program you write, any C program you write, you are going to have statements like this in the beginning. So hash include stdio.h. This is a symbol called hash. Then include angular brackets opening and close in that stdio.h. This is a file. Okay, it has an extension .h and it's a text file, and the name of the file is stdio. Stdio stands for standard input output. Okay, and include is, it is in English, include means include something. So what this statement means is we are including another file in our program, and this file is not what we have written. File is not created by us. This is coming along with the language. So when we write a program, many times we will have to include some external files in our program, and these files will have some code. We are going to write some code, our own code, but this will contain some code written by others, and it is coming along with the compiler or coming along with the language as a package. And why we include this file stdio.h in our program? The reason is that we are going to use some of this code which is written by somebody else in our program. That is the purpose. Now when we write a program, everything what we want to do, we will not be able to write it everything because say I want to display. So I will take an example. I want to display some message to the screen. Now I am using a command or instruction here, printf. So here onwards I am going to call this as a function, just like a mathematical function. I am going to call printf as a function. Okay, that is the proper terminology for that. Now this function, what it does is it will display this string onto the screen. The standard output device is your display or monitor. It will print, this function will print this message onto the screen. Now how it is performing that, how printf is doing that we don't know, and that thing, how it is going to write this string onto the screen, that code for that C program code for that, it is written in the definition of this function. I am just using this function. This is written, that definition of the function is written by somebody else. It's like if I take an example, so you have a mathematical function y equal to f of x. Okay, then f of x will have, this is a mathematical function everybody knows, right? X is an input to the function and it will process this input and the output is assigned to y. This is clear, right? Now there will be a definition for this function. Here we are not specifying, this is the input to the function, but what it is doing with the function, it is not clear here. Okay, now I can give a definition for this function. Now it is more clear. So this is printf hello world is something like calling using a function. You write f, and hello world is like passing something into the function. Here it is a variable, here it is like a string. It is a string. So this function call is similar to something like this. Now what is the definition of the function f of x or y equal to f of x is this. Similarly, printf is going to have a definition that is written by somebody else. We don't know it, but we just want to use that and complete our objective. Our objective is to display this function onto the screen. Okay, that way there are hundreds of functions written by many people and they contributed it to the language or the C language, and which we can readily use in our program. Now if we want to use such a function in our program, there will be a header file corresponding to the each and every function that way, and we have to include that function in our header file in our program. So is it clear? Okay, so how much you understood? What you did you understand that we are including some f? Yeah. About the comments. Yeah. This is actually, when see, English is a language, right? So when we want, if we want to form a sentence, there are some rules that the English language specifies, right? Say I am writing. So I am writing. We will not write am I or writing am I. So that is in English. In a natural, in English is a natural language. Similarly, in a programming language, there are certain rules and regulation rules. There are certain rules. Okay. So for everything there is a rule. We cannot write as if we write an English or Hindi and make computers to do the job. So here we have a program in C. C is a programming language. Now we are learning a new programming language. Okay. So here what we are going to learn is the syntax or the grammar or the rules in this language. When we learn English, we learn the rules. What we learn? We learn the alphabet in English, then words in English, then grammatical rules in English. Similarly, we have in C programming language also there is alphabet, there are characters, there are words, there are sentences, and there are rules, its own rules for all this, writing a story in C programming language. You understood so far? So this is a language, it has got its own rule. Now what I am this is one say now you have certain statements in your program. This I have written a small program in C language. This is my program, whatever I am highlighting, starting from hash include. There is a this is my, say you can say it's my paragraph in C language. In English it will be very readable for you, it is easy for you to understand. Now in C you are not able to understand what paragraph I have written. Okay, and this is written according to the rules of C language. When we write a paragraph in English, we follow the rules of English language. Here we are following the rules of C language. That's it. Now one such rule is that, or one such specification is that there are certain statements which compiler will understand or compiler will bother about. This is the statements, or say statements in C language. which compiler will process and convert this into executable code. Why we convert into executable code? This is in C language, but when we convert it to executable file, it will be in binary language. You know that binary language is made of only two characters or two letters, 1 and 0, right? This is clear? Okay, now who is doing this conversion? That is compiler, that I explained in the last class, and hope you saw those videos I recommended in my webpage. Some videos you watch and what compiler does and all, it is explained there. Now compiler will consider these statements and it will convert this program in C language to machine level language, because computer can understand only machine level language. Now when you write a program, normal people cannot understand this, what is written here. Okay, so if I write a program, somebody who is not knowing C language will not be able to follow this. Now such a person, if I want to explain what is the task performed by this C program, I can explain it using plain English. Did you get it? In the program itself, I can write it in plain English. Now if I write something like this, compiler will think that it is a C program statement and it will try to compile, but this is not according to the rules of C program, so it will give an error. So if I try to compile this, it is going to give an error. See, here it is an error, because we are not distinguishing our comment or the explanation to the program. In explanation I can write whatever I want, but normally I will be writing what this program doing or what this statement doing. Now to distinguish from my program statement, the comments I write, I am separating it with some syntax or some specification. That is what this double slash means. So when this double slash is there, whatever I write after that, compiler will understand that this is not for me, this is for a human reader. So it will ignore. So there is no error. This line will be ignored by the compiler. And again, such a single line comment is there. I start with the double slash. This also will be ignored by the compiler. This way I can write some English statement which will help a human reader to understand my program. Did you get that? Okay. Now this double slash is allowing me only to write single line comments. What if I want to write a paragraph about my program? A little complex program I have written, I want to explain it in a paragraph. In that case, what we can do is, here open with a slash star and write the comment and end it with the star slash. So this also will be ignored by the compiler. So this will be, so whatever we write as a comment here, single line comment or multi-line comment, those will be for the human reader, not for the compiler. Compiler will worry about only these statements which are the valid statements. Understood? Why single line comment and multi-line comments? Okay, now we will go into the program. The first statement, hash include stdio.h. Even though it is not a valid English statement, it is very similar, right? Include is an English word. That means we are including something. This is the program that we are going to write, or we wrote it. We are including something. And stdio.h looks like a file name. We already saw some file name here, hello.c, hello.exe, etc. It's a file name. .h is an extension. And this contains some program written by other people which we want to use it in our program. Clear? Okay. Now there are several header files provided by the C language. The developers of the C language, several header files. But as of now, I don't want to use all of those code, all of those functions or code written by other people. But whichever I want to use, for that, what is the corresponding header file, I have to include it. Now, this header file stands for standard input output. That means the functions or the commands required for print output, means output, displaying the output or printing an output message, onto the screen. Input means taking an input from the user, some data entered by the user. So whichever function, this kind of functions, say displaying a message onto the screen or taking an input from the user, such functions are all put it in this header file. And see, in my program, I am doing an output operation. I am printing a message onto the screen, and for that I use this function printf. So you can treat it as a command, or the proper name for this is a function, just like I explained y is equal to f of x, just like a mathematical function. Instead of f of x, I have used printf. X, instead of x, I have used a string. That's it. So since this is not a valid statement, I will comment it out. Okay. Now, what is the definition of printf? It is written by somebody else. We don't need to worry about that. Since it is readily given to us, we are using it. So I have to include the corresponding header file and use the function. And rest everything will be taken care by the printf function. What is needed to write it onto the screen. Understood? Or anything is there? Doubt for anybody? You can actually, this is a small group, and many of you are not having prior exposure to programming. You can ask any kind of doubt, because these are very fundamentals, and in every program we are going to use this kind of things. If all of your programs will look like something like this, the change will be, instead of printf, we write different statements based on what we want to achieve using our program. Clear? No, this is optional. This is optional, in fact. This is optional. Because if you want other people to understand your program better, you can write this. Otherwise, you don't need to. This is a very simple program. Most of the people can understand without a comment. But when you are writing a program to multiply two matrices, people seeing the program may not be obvious to them what this program is doing. So in that case, it is recommended to use comments and write that what your program is doing or how you are doing it. So it is optional. Okay. Now, if you are not using any function written by others, this is also optional. Okay, but in most or 99% of the program, one or other functions written by others we will be using. So this will always be there. What is mandatory? Yeah. Actually, yeah, but it is recommended that you include that. But these days, the recent compiler is also a software. The recent versions of the compiler, by default, they include it. But I will not suggest for you to do that. So ideally, you should be, whichever function you are using in your program, the corresponding header file you should be including in your program. So you will know, actually there are not many, 2 or 3 header files only you will be using in your entire course. There is one stdio.h for input and output operations. There is a math.h, math for mathematical related functions. There is a .h file called string.h for string related functions. These 3 or 4, not more than that. So don't worry about that. So you will be writing one more. Say if you want to include math.h, you will be writing one more statement like this, math.h. So this has functions like sqrt, power, square root function, power function, or exponent function. Like the functions are there. So as of now, I am not worried about math.h because I am not doing any mathematical operations here. So minimally, this will be there almost in every program. If you are taking input from the user, or if you are writing output to the display or to show to the user. Clear? Now, if I remove this, What is remaining is main function. This is the mandatory component of every C program. Without this, your C program will not execute. Okay, so that's why in the last class I told this pattern you should be very comfortable. Every program you write is going to have a pattern like this. This is mandatory, and almost this is also will be there. This also will be there because you will one or other way you will be using an input operation or an output operation. Okay. Yeah. So this is a complete working program. So this will be the first program of your assignment. So if, yeah, it may not be possible for you to write at the moment, you can take a screenshot and write it at the end or after the class. No problem. Everybody understood this? This statement is this is the function call, or generally command, or more technically in terms of C programming language, this is a function call. Function name is this, just like in f of x, f. Instead of that we have printf, and instead of x we pass some input to the function, that is a string, and this will be displayed onto the screen. This is another statement. This is not a function call. This is another statement. This simply means that normally this will be the last statement of your program. If you and this after executing this statement, your program will terminate. So to terminate your program, or to indicate termination, or indicate to stop your program, you give this statement: return 0. Okay. Now clear? So printf is a function which is given by this header file. Main is another function which we write, but the name has to be main. Even though we write the definition of the function, or the body of this function definition or body of this function, the name main is mandatory. We cannot change the name, and input to this function is nothing. We don't have any input to the function, and the output of this function is an integer. Because of, to indicate an integer is the output of this function, we mention int. So main is a mandatory function in every C program. Normally it doesn't take any input. It returns an integer as the output. Gives an integer as the output. Clear? And since this function, after its execution, this function has to return an integer. That is why we are returning 0. Return is the statement to terminate this function or this program, and since it has to return an integer, we are returning as simply an integer value 0. And normally in almost all the programs we will be returning 0. So this pattern is going to be very common for all your programs, almost all of your programs, except that here instead of printf you will be writing one or many other statements. This program is performing a very simple task of displaying hello world message onto the screen, but you will be writing soon some program for adding numbers or calculating factorial or so and so. So that time this part will change. Instead of hello world you will have one or many dozens of statements. Other than that, this pattern is going to be common. So everybody understood this? Any doubt in this? You keep asking doubts so that if one, yeah. Yeah, this syntax has to be followed. Within this double quotes, you can write anything. Other than that, everything else will remain same. Ah, yeah. You are going to do that. So I'll get anything. So it make normally output message will not be this long, or you can split it into multiple printf statements. So it is going to give the output like this. But this is called the syntax of the function. What is it? Okay. Syntax or rule of this function, I can say printf name followed by opening bracket, and at the end there is a closing bracket and a semicolon, and whatever you want to pass you put it in double quotes and pass it into the function. So these things, syntax, basically when you learn language, this is what you learn, the syntax. Okay, into main, opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket, printf, what is syntax of printf, and this is what you are going to learn. This is the rule of C language. English, like just like English language is having its own set of rules, this is the rule of C language. This you have to follow. Simply if you write printf, okay, don't ask me why this is not working, because there is a program called compiler which has to understand, right? If you write at your own will, compiler will not understand, because compiler is responsible for converting this into binary code. So the compiler has some rules with which you can write. If you write according to that rule, it will compile successfully. Now this red button shows there is an error. Now after I fix it, it should compile successfully. Okay, so whenever you learn any language, you will have to follow some rules of that language: grammatical rules, syntactical rules, spellings, etc., etc. Similarly, here in C language also you have to follow that. But these rules are what we are going to learn, or what are the grammatical rules, what are the syntactical rules, spelling, etc., etc. What we are going to learn with respect to C programming, C language. It is very similar to, yeah. Spacing doesn't matter here. Spacing doesn't matter here. If I combine this, it makes another altogether different word. So a single space is required between words, just like English. Many rules are very similar to English, I can say. Spacing is one such thing. So here there is one spacing required. Here I cannot combine, I need a space here. Similarly, like if you write a word just like in English, next word you are separating it with a space. If you separate it with two space, there is no problem. But if you don't separate with any space, it will become another word as such. So spacing is required. Yeah, this one. Yeah, here you see this is a symbol. Okay, and this is also a symbol. This is also a symbol. So individual words are separated. If you put a spacing here, there is no problem. Otherwise, and these are some special statements actually, include statements. So spacing doesn't matter. But if you put a space here, I don't think it will work. This is the header file name. So it's a complete thing. So if you put a space here, it will. Okay, these are very like trivial things, but you as soon you will understand actually the spacing matters. But here, if you put a space here, I don't think it will matter. No problem. Here also, if you put a space, I think it matters. No, but normally you will soon get to learn these things under. So single space between words is required. Hmm. No. This one, if you want, you can, with that line between the line putting space, extra blank line is not necessary. This I have put just because for the readability. When you write a program, just like when you write in English, readability matters, your handwriting, spacing between lines. Similarly, to improve the readability of this program, I have written a blank line here. Okay, that you can, if you want, you can remove. So now, finally, your C program will contain one or more functions. Either you write your own function or you call a function written by somebody else. And each of this function will be doing some well-defined task. So here your program is doing one task. It will display a message on the screen. For that you are using a function written by somebody else and it is available in stdio.h. You included that header file in your program and you are calling that function and passing the string you want to display onto the screen. And every program should have a function called main. What you are writing within the main. Within main means between this opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. What you are going to write within this is going to change depending on what you want to achieve. Clear? And every function has its own syntax. So there is another function called scanf. It has its own syntax, syntactical rule. Here this printf is having the simplest form of printf is this. So there are different variants of printf which we will come to know sooner. But this is the simplest form of printf. This you have to learn. Somehow you have to practice. You don't need to by heart, but if you are doing sufficient practicing with coding, you will eventually, it will naturally occur to you. No need of by hearting. Okay. This return 0 is also mandatory. It says we want to go out of this function. Main is the function. It starts from here, from this curly bracket I can say. It starts and just before ending that we put a return 0 to indicate that we are good. And kind of this is optional, I can. In main it is kind of optional. But if it is not there, it might generate a warning or something. So as a safe thing, you always put it as a safe recommendation. You always put return 0 at the end of main. And this 0 indicates this corresponds to this integer. This is the output of the function. This integer indicates main function is outputting an integer or returning an integer, and this 0 corresponds to that integer. Okay. So I hope this is very clear to you, and if not clear, read my notes and maybe discuss in the group, or you can message me if you did not understand it. This is very basic, and I think with the very basic program of Hello World only we took the entire class. Probably we need to advance our level in the next class. Next class we will take up addition of, okay, anyway, today now next class is at 11 o'clock, right? So I can maybe slightly I can extend it. So I hope this is very clear. Comments are optional. Single line comment, multi-line comment, these are optional, and these are the mandatory things. And you can have multiple hash includes based on the functions you are using in your program. And this part is mandatory. Main function is mandatory in every C program, then only it will execute. And that is the function, first function that will be, or when your program is executed, it is going to execute main. What you write in main is what it is going to execute. Who is executing is actually the operating system. When you compile this, it's an application. It's a small application, just like WhatsApp or Facebook, but it's a very minimal application. Does a very trivial thing, displaying how are you. So, but this is also an application, and when you execute, operating system is going to execute. So when operating system execute this program, main is what operating system is looking for. If main is not there, it cannot execute. So main is a mandatory function. Okay. So shall we start our do our next program quickly? So this is, so you can take a screenshot of this, your very first program, and write it in your assignment. Probably today. Actually, I will ask for the assignment in installments. Maybe before the first test, you will have to give whatever we have completed till first test, then first test to second test. So in installments also I can ask. So you keep it ready. So we'll write our second program. So that will be, I want to add two numbers. So I give the name add.c. So normally we'll give the name of the program related to what it is doing. Okay. Previously we gave hello.c because we are just displaying a message called hello world. Now my second program is similar only. I take the same template. Okay. And here I want to add two numbers. Okay. So don't write this program. The simplest way I can do it is printf. So we are going to learn the second variant of printf. First variant of printf, simply give a string in double quote. A string means some whatever we give it in we give in double quotes. So we used to give. Here I am going to put something called %d and comma. This is a comma, or yeah, or I can say I'm going to display a number. Before we get into adding two numbers, I'm going to display a number. So I compile this and execute, I get 7. Okay, and the same thing I can achieve this here also. Just I pass it as a string. In double quotes, if I give, it is going to display a number. Okay, this is similar to what we have learned already. Instead of hello, in double quotes, every time it should be within the double quotes. Here it is hello. Here I am going to display a number. Okay. Now instead of that, I can write it in another way. I put something called %d. It has some meaning. That is also going to display something like this. 7. So whatever I have put 7. Now if I want to add two numbers, I can write this like this. This is some intermediate or beginning level thing I am showing. Different ways of using printf. So what I am putting here is 4 plus 3. But the output I get is 7. Okay. So this is a different way of using printf. So now I can write something like this here. The number or the result is. So printf has many variations, actually variants. The first one, the basic one, is you pass a string. This is the function. The input to the function is a string, and that will be displayed onto the screen. The second variant is you pass a string and then so after that a comma separating the next input. So there are two inputs to this function. One is a string, second is an expression or a constant value. Second is an expression. The second variant of printf. Now when we pass this, what is the output we are getting? We'll see. The result is 7. So in the place of %d, this 7 has come. Okay. Now whatever you put there now, I put 100. The result is 100. So after the colon, I have a %d, and in that place, whatever number I am giving as the second input. So this string is the first input, this is the second input. Whatever number I am giving, that is appearing. Is it clear? This is the second variant of printf. This is the first version of printf, second version of printf. Is it clear? Here your function has two inputs. So you can, in mathematics also, you can have a function like y is equal so z equal to f of x comma y. You can have a function like this. So instead of the f, I have a printf. It is taking two inputs. First one is a string, second one is a number, integer or a constant integer. Second variant. Is it clear? Okay. So instead of this number, I can put an expression also here, mathematical expression, 4 plus 6. In that case, what is the output? The result is 10. So my second input, since it is an expression, it is first computed and the result of that is placed instead of percentage %d. So this percentage %d is like a placeholder or a template where when we some number will be, it will be replaced with some number when we are actually displaying it onto the screen. That is the intention. So instead of percentage %d, some number has come. How that number is obtained is by adding the second input. Second input happen to be an expression. If it is a constant, that will be simply replaced in place of percentage %d. If it is an expression, that will be computed and that is replaced in this position. Okay, this is how we can perform a very simple addition operation. Very simple, but it will add only same numbers every time. Okay, with that we will stop for today. If any doubt is there, you ask me about this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll share with you. So any doubt about this? So this first version of printf is this, and you are going to see different variants of printf. But there are some pattern, you don't need to by heart it. Soon you will capture that pattern and it will be easy for you to. So these are the two major ones. This is one string only one input only. This is having multiple input. Here it is two inputs. One is a string, second is an expression or a constant. Okay, these two major classification or patterns, single input and multiple input, we can divide that way. Okay. So with that, next class we will actually see addition of two numbers. So here what we have seen is only a variant of the printf function. Printf function is supposed to display something onto the screen, and sometimes it takes one input or it can take even multiple inputs. So here it takes two inputs. And here how it functions is second input is placed in one location of the first input and the final string is prepared. The final string is the result is 10. So this much you understand. Maybe take a screenshot of this and you. So with that we will stop for the day and we'll meet in the next class. Tomorrow is the next class, and by the time if you try, you can try, and whatever doubt you can get back to me. You can read the notes, and when I share the video, you can watch the video and come up with doubts. See, for this operation, actually include, if we require only, we will add external files. But this is a very trivial thing. There are some operators available without including math.h. There are some operators like addition, subtraction available in the language. So we can do with that operators only. And math.h, since it is a trivial operation, these are basic arithmetic operation. Math.h may not have code for that. Math.h has a code for square root or finding power of two numbers as x to the power y. But for trivial operation, math.h may not have. For that, language has already provided built-in operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. So we don't need to use math.h. Okay, any other doubt? So I'll share the video of this class, and even the next class will be very important. We are going to make a very generic useful program by incrementally progressing from here. So those things, this class and next class, you have to be very careful. The fundamentals will be covered there. Okay. With that, we will stop, and I'll share the video maybe after a while. I need to do some minimal editing on that. Okay. Thank you all. We'll see you in the next class.